Tara Jacobson, Marketing Artfully and Paperly People, and you can see my assistant just laid down to take a nap. So I'm super excited for this planner. This is for coaches. So you could be a life coach, fitness coach, weight loss coach, relationship coach, any kind of coach. And a lot of these forms will work great for you. And to give you a little background, a gal approached me, super nice. She was just getting into the coaching business, and she wanted to find out if I had any forms for that. And I'm like, oh, I have forms. But the one thing that I do have is 15 years of experience coaching people. I've done the long-term big campaigns where you're going to be doing it for a year and following them through, as well as I do a lot of one-on-one coaching where we just solve a problem. So this is something that I'm really, really familiar with, and so it was relatively easy for me to help her out, and I figured why not make one for everybody. So the first part of this is the getting started, and this is just a list of the forms. I'm probably going to put bullet points there just to make it a little bit easier for you to sort out the forms. One thing about this is I think there's 25 pages with the 2 getting started sheets and the 2 covers. So there's a lot of forms here. Please do not feel like you have to use every form every day. That is not the intention. The intention is for you to do, to pick and choose the ones that you're gonna use most effectively. And these first 2 are a really good example, right? So this is a daily to-do form that's for appointments. So you'll see over here, it runs from like 6 to 8:30 all day long. And so if you are a seasoned coach and you have, say, like Tuesdays where you're just meeting with somebody one after the other, you would want to use this form this day because you need to schedule those and know who's going to be coming. The nice thing about this is it has 3 must-dos. So if you have a day like that, there's not a great chance that you're going to get a ton of stuff done other than meeting with your clients. So you need to really do the Brian Tracy thing, and what are the things you have to get done? And then there's a list of to-dos, and then a nice place for any notes you want to give to yourself. Down here, just so you know, it's on every page, so we're not going to cover it every page, but if you ever want to see this video again, it's here, paperlypeople/coaches planner. So this is a different daily to-do, and this is the one that I use because I'm very into affirmations, and I call them field goals. So these are the things that I'm shooting for. So I have 5 daily to-dos that I can get done. A little bit more because I don't have so many appointments, right? That's just how my world works. And then the tasks and timelines, these are my fences. So when I'm doing a coaching planner, I can't say I'm going to do a coaching planner and list 20 items and I'm going to do some client work and I'm going to do all this. That just doesn't work. I love the concept, but that's the mythical woman-man time that you think that you can pack all this stuff in. So this over here is to put the time. So if I know I'm going to be spending 3 hours on a coaching planner today, doing the video, finalizing it, doing the sales page, I cannot have something else that's 12 hours because it just doesn't fit. This is kind of cool. I heard this idea and I wish I could remember where to credit it, but this is 10 ideas. So what they want you to do is to be continually generating new ideas and getting them out of your head. So what you would do is you would try to come up with 10 ideas every day that you would, and they can be ridiculous. That's the thing that they're really careful about, is this isn't just 10 great ideas. This is to get you used to generating lots and lots of ideas. And I will tell you, I did this for a while because I use all the forms before I publish them. And it was funny because what would happen was I would go through and I would do the 10 ideas, and then some of them would keep coming up over and over again every day. They're not intending you to do anything with them today. They just want you to get them out of your head and onto a piece of paper. So that was really exciting. And then this is one thing that I find is really good, is to just list what you're grateful for. Like, I'm grateful for the fact that I have a really cool dog who sits in the back and makes noise. I'm grateful for the fact that my family's moving, just whatever it is. It could be for business. I'm grateful for that I have the opportunity to make coaching planners. Okay, so this is weekly, and I love this. The reason I made this one was specifically for me is because monthly is a little too much for me, I guess. There's no monthly planner. And daily, I so every Sunday I would sit down and I would write down, what is the theme for next week? What are my long-term goals? This isn't my next week goals, but I want to make sure that I'm always focusing on my long-term goals and what I'm practically doing, right? And so I would have these printed out beforehand with the dates on them, because I would oftentimes have an upcoming appointment, like I'm a speaker. So I would know that I was speaking like in 2 weeks, but I don't necessarily need to write that down every single day. And I do have it in my online calendar, but I just like to have a heads up, kind of an overview of what I already have packed into my week on Sunday, so that I don't make a plan that's ridiculous, right? And then these are communications. This is a call, email, or text. So what I'll do there is, a lot of times, say one of my clients asks me to remind them to do something, or something happens and I'm like, oh, I need to remember to text Kirsten about that, but she's out of town. So I'll put it on here, and then I'll remember to text, and then it's out of my head and onto a piece of paper. This is fun. These are blog posts I'm going to write for the coming weeks, videos to shoot, and speaking events I'm going to do. And then these are must-dos that I want to have for those weeks. Excuse me for one moment. Sorry about that. I had to go beat dog. Not really. No, don't be worried. Don't beat dog. Okay, so this one's kind of cool. I'm going to zoom out a little bit so we can see. So this is a weekly spread. And so if you do not have like that much you do in a day, you can do it on a weekly basis. And this one's kind of plain. So what you do is you print them out. You can print them out two-sided, and then you just put them together. I like this format a lot. And then this one is the same thing. It just has to-dos at the bottom. And I actually, when I do the weekly spreads, I like to have my to-dos there. I put stuff in these other places. Some people use them for times. Some people use them for to-dos or to block out things. It's pretty fluid. You can do whatever you want with it. And then this is monthly, and I have these laid out. I do them especially for my kids' school. You just do the month, and this is perpetual, so you don't have to buy a new one from me every year. You just go through and put the dates and put those in. So that works out really well. And then this is 3 months. One of my coaching clients had this, and I was like, that's amazing. And she actually does a lot of stuff where she worked for the airline industry, so she gets to fly around the world. And so she would put in here, like she's going to Bermuda for a week. And so she really needed to know that, and she really needed to know it kind of far out. So I thought that this was really, really brilliant. This may be something that you really like to do. Oh, and what I failed to mention on the last ones, some people, especially in America, we like to do Sunday through Saturday. The Europeans have always done Monday through Sunday, and I actually have started doing that simply because I like to keep my 2 weekend days together and then have like my work and then know what I'm doing on the weekend. So that may be something you want to try. This is neat. I use these a lot. I use these actually for my speaking events now. So this is Coaching Clients Opportunity Sheet. So you're going to put whatever month and year it is, who called you, who referred them. Like, I really want to know where they came from. Did they come from my website? Did they come from, like, I have a bunch of referral partners that are official. They just like me. So I want to know so I can send them a card, and I can send them a gift card. I do Starbucks a lot. The email address of the person, work home newsletter, their first phone, their second phone if they have a second one. The first product interest. So this is one of the things I know with coaches that I've coached. They're like, I talk too much. They call me and then I try to fix everything. So what you want to do is you really want to know what their first interest was, because that's what you need to keep coming back to, right? Like, so if their first interest is to get organized, then you need to make sure that everything you do throughout your coaching helps them to feel that. And the nice thing is then you can keep reminding them that this is what you originally said. And this is suspect, prospect, dead lead, and bot. So a suspect, this is going to be a sheet full of suspects, right? Like, people call you, they email you. You don't want to lose them. You want to have them all in one place, but they're not exactly, they're not hot prospects. And so then a prospect is somebody that maybe you email back, and they respond, like, then I would probably move them up to prospect. Or if they ask to schedule an initial call with you, then they're definitely a prospect. Dead lead, you need to know if they're dead, right? Like, you need to know that you don't need to waste any more time on them, or they bought, and then note what they bought. So I love that. I use that with my speaking, because people will call me and they'll ask me about speaking events, and I'm like, sure, send me some information. And the nice thing is it acts as a tickler when I have time. And that's the reason why I have phone numbers in there and emails in there. So if I have time, say I'm sitting at my, son's practice, he doesn't really need me except to like be there. So a lot of times I'll just go through my planner, and if I see I can make a call, I'll make a call or shoot off an email, maybe a text. I'm more texty. And this is a detailed lead sheet. So I didn't put the name on the top because we have a lot of information here. So you're going to have their address, city, state, zip, email, their birth date, their significant other. Do they have kids? Do they have pets? Back to that first product interest. What are they actually interested in? Not what you think they should be interested in. The source and the next contact date. And then INCAL is that they're in your calendar. So that's to know, because a lot of times I'll meet with people not in my office, and I would rather not put them in my phone calendar. I'd rather wait till I get home and do that. So this is how you use these squares. So if it's half filled out, I know it's partially done, and I do mine diagonally. You could do it straight up and down. If it's not filled out, nothing's been done on it. And if it's totally filled out, I know that it's totally done, right? And these are follow-up contacts. This is still in kind of the, your courting phase. Maybe you just want to make sure you don't lose track of them. They might be a really good prospect for you. And then this is a sheet that you can use once they've started working with you, right? So this is their name, the date they started. I find that I always having to look that up. So I just write it down when they get started. And then this is the date. Was it a call, an email, a text? Did you Skype them? What is the next appointment? Is it in the calendar? So I just keep reminding myself, because I have an assistant. She'll schedule stuff. But a lot of times it's super easy for me to just get them on the calendar. If they ever have to change, I have her do it. Or if you have an online scheduling, maybe you do it that way. But for me, a lot of times it's really easy to just pop them in. What did you work on today? What are their next steps that they've agreed to? And then just some notes. And so you can just use this. If you have extra notes, you put them on a different piece of paper. But I find that that's plenty. I'll just jot a few things down. But I'm not, I'm not a transcriptionist. I'm not recording our whole talk. I just want to know what's going on. And then this is for marketing if you want to do your social media. So this is, you've posted, Monday you've posted something on your Facebook business page. Checked your messages, commented on 5 people's things, liked 5 things. You've shared it to your profile. So this is when you're on your business profile. You shared it to your personal profile. Oh, I got to take that off. And then that's for Pinterest, Twitter, Instagram. And then on YouTube, you're going to do that you posted, checked your messages, and then that you shared it on Facebook, shared it on Pinterest, Twitter, maybe added it to a blog post, right? And then so Facebook business is Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, and then your profile is Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. So you kind of just go through that. All right, now this is for product development. So you're setting up a coaching product. So if you're an old dog coach, don't worry about this. But this is, a big idea that you're working on a concept. And then who are your competitors? What are they doing? And then brainstorming ideas based on what they're doing. I'm not big on copying, but a lot of times I'll be like, oh, they're doing that, but what if I did this? And so I want to note that down. And you're going to do that for 3 competitors. And then you're going to come over here and you want to know really who's going to buy this product. So say you are a fitness coach. Is this going to be, moms who are trying to lose the baby weight? Is this somebody who's really concerned about their health because they have allergies or because they're experiencing health concerns? Is this somebody who's trying to make their relationship better? So, if it's a relationship better, are they single girls? Are they married girls? Are they men? Are they, whatever's going on? Is this a niche item? Like, is this a really thin slice. And I love thin slices. You guys may not understand this, but coaches who mostly are women because it's pink, who want paper forms are a small slice of the world, right? You know, so it's kind of a niche item. Is it my current main niche? So yeah, that's currently the people who I target. Main niche though, is it a current niche that you serve? So like I serve realtors, but that's not maybe my main niche. And then or is this a new niche? Key features of your product, key problems it solves. That's one we always miss and do it. Where you're going to sell it in person, your website. And what you're doing here is just kind of trying to verify that this is going to, or validate that this is going to be a good product. So is it a, you know, and then you set up your things, small, medium, and large, whatever you're going to call it, the price. Does it cost you anything to do? So do you have to develop a guide, a handout? Do you have to, you know, make videos? Are you going to pay for that? Whatever it is. Time, cost, in hours. I think that's one thing that we don't really look at is how much time did it take you to make it? And will you need any outside help? And then this is really impactful. What makes yours different or special? This is the big ideas section. So there's going to be 4 worksheets that go together. So first off, if you've ever read Getting Things Done by David Allen, one of his big things is to have ideas. So he says you have them anyways, right? My ideas are legion. So this is a sheet where you can have just ideas. And then we have our box again. Do you move it? And sometimes when I have moved, I'll put the little arrow. That was a terrible arrow. But I'll make an arrow to say that I've moved it somewhere. But so you may have ideas about new coaching programs. You may have ideas about a seminar you want to hold. You may have new ideas about your website. And I would put each of these on a different page and then run them down. And then I would have a mishmash ideas page, right? Next, sometimes one of them will get big enough to be a big idea, right? So for me, doing planners was a big idea. I had all these different worksheets. I now have 5 major planners. This is one of them. So the concept was to make planners, right? Who am I marketing to? So coaches, direct sales people, realtors, bloggers, writers, you know, you do that. Do you have that audience already? Yes or no? And what's the price of it going to be? And then this seems super simple, but what you do is each part of it. So action items. So one of the first things I needed to do was to get a format for the planners. So format planners. And then if there's any additional steps, so maybe buy Illustrator, buy graphics, you know, figure out formatting, whatever it is. Say you're doing a seminar, right? Like, so you're doing a seminar. Who are you marketing to? Find a location. Get vendors. You know, all the steps for it. So each of the big parts of it go on there. And if there's any subtasks, you do that. Now, the reason why this is so helpful to me, especially, I'm a really busy mom. I got 3 kids. I have dogs. I have a business. I do not get big blocks of time anymore to work, right? So I kind of have to do something, get it started, and keep it moving and whatever. So what'll happen is, so say this very first one is to get location, right? So I would say call Ramada. Ask, you know, a vendor that you know and a place that you have, check with them. Check with Clubhouse. So I have a Clubhouse here. Maybe I would have a small intimate event in the Clubhouse. And what happens is as you do each one and you get it started, so if one of them was call Ramada and I didn't get an answer and I don't know yet, all I have to do is check off half of this. Part of the problem with being busy is that you never can pick up where you're at. So if you get in the habit of letting yourself know where you are at on a different project, you don't have to spend 20 minutes figuring out where you are. You can just come in, pop in, and do it. So there's 14 items you can do on there. And then this is a little project. So say we do that and I'm doing planners and it gets like one of the little sections gets bigger. So build a website, right? So one of the sections is research membership sites. And so the big idea is to have planners, and then the little idea is membership sites. So the little project is membership sites. And then once you're here, now you have to have a due date for this. What is the price for this? Is the materials and cost or time? And then you break down these action items. So if you have a really big project, and one of the gals that I know said they took this big ideas and they had a committee, like a business, and they had committees. So this would have been the food committee, and this would have been the door prize committee, and this would have been this. And then you break it down into this little project, which is the smaller pieces of it. I have had people ask me, like, why is this so ridiculous? Like, this is so many things. Who would ever do this? And I will tell you in all sincerity, you're doing it anyways. You're just doing it, trying to keep it all in your head instead of writing it down in an organized fashion. So once you get used to doing this, like, I don't start anything. Oh my gosh, here's the other thing. So if you are creative and you're coming up with new ideas all the time of something to do, this is brilliant. So I had a big idea recently that I was going to do like a Rainmaker series, right? So Rainmaker authors, Rainmaker realtors, Rainmaker this and that. And so I started, and I'm like, it's the Rainmaker concept. Who am I marketing to? I got that far. Yes, I already have the audience. And then I started doing action items, and they were really disjointed, right? And I was like, okay. And I kept going, and I kept pushing. I'm like, still a little disjointed, but maybe I'll get it. And then a couple of them had little projects, and I'm doing it. And I'm like, okay, this isn't working. So before, I would have built a website. I would have, I would have done a million things rather than printed this out and really gone through the steps and said, oh, okay, well, I've satisfied that itch to do it. And now I've figured out before I've done a whole lot of work that I don't like to do it, right? So I will say that this is one of the biggest things I do if you're creative. And then this is the very last part. This is loving on your clients. And this is very loosely based on Keller Williams Real Estate did a research with some of their very top realtors. And one of the things they found that was that those agents contacted their people, it was every 33 days. So we're not doing that. We're just doing it monthly. So you're going to do 3 things a month for your clients. You're going to email them, phone them, and mail them. Okay? So if you have 100+ clients, you're not going to be doing this for each one, right? So you're going to send out a blast email and say, hey guys, saw this, thought of you. And that covers you emailed everybody, and you would just do it all on one sheet. You would maybe print out your phone log if you're going to try to call everybody. And when you were all done, you said phone calling's done. And if you were doing, say, a direct mail piece or something, you would mark when it's all done. If you're very boutique and you're, serving a very few high-end clients, then what you would do is you would have this sheet for every one of them, right? So say you have 10 clients. You really want to be involved with them. So you're going to, when you say phone call, you're going to say that you literally called that one person, right? So you can either use it on a global scale or you can use it on a very small scale. And then I like to have themes, like my months all have themes, so that works out great. Here's 2 covers. I love that one. I love this quote. Everyone needs a coach. It doesn't matter whether you're a basketball player, a tennis player, a gymnast, or a bridge player. And that's Bill Gates, right? So like these guys, I just like to remind myself that what I'm doing matters, and that I know that I shouldn't have to, but some days I just like to see something pretty. And then this is just a different one that's coaching, if you like that. So hopefully that helps. My email address is tara@marketingartfully.com if you have any questions, and I would welcome any of them, or just email me and let me know if your planner's working to help make your life better. Tara Jacobson, Marketing Artfully and Paperly People.